So at a very high level, these are tools that the government uses to acquire capability more quickly, right? So they're designed to accelerate innovation, support prototyping, because there's a lot going on, especially under the Golden Dome, and also bring in the non-traditional vendors into the defense ecosystem, right? And seeing with this whole conversation on OTAs, many organizations are now building new relationships. They're engaging earlier in this capture process. And they're looking for ways to participate in opportunities that may not follow that traditional acquisition path, right? But what I think, and that where people actually get confused is, they assume that the procurement process, because it's faster, the expectations are somehow lower. Newsflash, it's not, right? This is not a workaround. When anyone says OTAs or CSOs, no, it's not a workaround. They're just a faster way for the government to procure capability. In fact, one of the biggest mistakes I see organizations they make is they're focusing entirely on winning the prototype effort, but they're not spending enough time thinking about what comes next. I mean, yes, and if you're talking to, and if anyone in the audience, they're heavily into prototype, you eventually want to get to the next stage, right? You don't want that prototype to just die over there on that tape, right? So, yeah, and because the other thing is winning the OTA is not the hardest part. Again, let me just put it out there. You probably have, a good product. You're developing some really cool things. You can even win, under the OTA route. But the question is, can you scale? Like how many businesses actually ask those questions? Can you move from prototype to production? Can you scale quickly? Can you support the reporting, the compliance, the supply chain complexity, the operational requirements, the full laundry list, when it comes to participating in these larger programs? So do you have the systems in place that will take you to the next level? So that's why I think about OTAs and CSOs as an opportunity, but they're not an exemption. So let's be very clear about that. So they may accelerate procurement, but they don't eliminate accountability. So faster, as I said, faster procurement doesn't mean the accountability is lowered or reduced. So, and as organizations tend to be successful, they are the ones who actually understand the both sides of the equation very well, right? They know how to move quickly, but they've also built the operational foundation that's needed to execute once they win.